Hey everyone, welcome to Lost Connection Tarot. My name is Benjamin Snavely, and this is your daily meditative tarot reading for Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Now, today I will be doing a 5-card spread. We will look at the theme of the day, and then we will look at the energy that we have the most control over. We have the energy that we have the least control over. We simply want to be aware of that energy, but we don't have to do anything about it. We can simply not worry about it. That's always nice. One less thing to worry about. And then the 4th card will be what is the most likely outcome if we do correct or right actions based on the energy we have the most control over. So this is actually a 4-card spread, not a 5. My apologies. Now, this reading is for all signs of the zodiac. It's for anybody that hears its message. If you're here, this message is for you. So, what is the energy of the day for Wednesday, October 7th, 2020? What is the energy that we all have the most control over? What is the energy we have the least control over? And what is the most likely outcome if we put right action into the energy we have the most control over? What is the most likely outcome? Okay. Cut that deck. Energy of the day. What we have the most control over, the least control, and outcome if we put right action towards the most control. Now, before I continue, I might as well tell you what deck I'm using, and I am using the Ethereal Visions deck by Matt Hughes. It's a very lovely deck that my wife bought for herself with the intention of me using it, and here I am using it, so she did it.
Isn't it such a lovely deck?
It is amazing.
It's so beautiful.
And this is Tony. All right, so let's get into the day. Now, the theme of the day is the 7 of Cups. Now, here we see a shadowy figure with a mask on, holding a skull with some kind of Komodo dragon and 7 cups. I have no idea what the hell that means, but I do know what 7 of Cups means, and I kind of understand the imagery here. Based on what he's trying to say. It's all about making wishes. It's all about saying, oh man, if only these things would come true, then I can have this. So it's I want to put my emotions and my devotion and my commitment, and that's what cups represent, right? Our emotions, our intuition, our commitment and devotion to certain things that we care about. And at the 7, we are kind of not wishy-washy, but things have been happening. We already have things that we care about, but now we're kind of like in a daydream stance where we see a future and possibilities, but it's still unknown and it has not solidified yet. So it can go in multiple directions, and you hope for all of these things, right? And so, ooh, I want this, and oh, I want that. It's kind of like getting a new job and then automatically seeing yourself in 5 years at a new position within that same company, and talking about traveling, and you're gonna be their spokesperson, and you're gonna be doing conferences, and you're gonna travel with them, and they're gonna give you pay raises, and this is all after the first interview and they said you're hired and they've talked to you about the job and the possibilities. Then your mind and your emotions start going off in all of these different directions, contemplating reality and where you want to put your emotion and focus. So that is what the energy of today is. So for Wednesday, we may get just more information, and with that more information we start to fantasize and idolize possibilities. But here's the key: we want to be very careful with what we wish for, because we may actually get it. And if your emotions are not aligned with your heart or your spirit, then it's more aligned with, let's say, your ego and what you're individualism wants, instead of what your spirit wants and wants to take you in a certain direction or path. But your ego says, oh, I want status, I want fame, I want recognition, I want, a big boat, whatever. You have to be careful, because if you are using the wrong thing to make your wishes, then you may get exactly what you want, but then it's not going to actually be fulfilling, and then it's going to be taken away from you, and then you're going to have more heartbreak, more loss, so on and so forth. So this is when we want to sit with all of the options. We want to sit with our thought process and our emotions, and look into the future and kind of listen to ourselves of like what feels right, what sounds right, what am I okay with 5 years from now. If I am still at this job, what am I okay with doing or making, or how addressing myself and others as, so be careful with the choices that you make, and not everything comes to fruition. But this is all about fantasies, daydreams, what ifs, possibilities, and you just simply need to be careful, because sometimes something may look good and it actually is a snake in the grass, and you're going to get bit. So just be aware of the multifacetedness of this card, how it can go in either direction. It's all really on who is making choices, and if your heart is making choices for you, then you're probably going to pick correctly. But if your mind, intellect, ego is the only thing that's picking things for you, and it seems like the logical conclusion, but you're not taking your heart into consideration, then you may make a misstep and you may choose incorrectly, and then the Komodo will get you. Okay, so be careful with that. So that's the energy of the day. Now, the energy that we have the most control over is the King of Cups in reverse. Now, this is all about controlling our own emotions. The King of Cups is a masculine figure, but the most feminine of the masculine figures, because he is in tune with his own emotion. He is in tune with himself. He is not afraid to express himself outwardly in anything, because this is who he is, and he walks to the beat of his own drum, so to speak. So he's not afraid to wear flamboyant, outlandish clothes. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to go to certain places, clubs, hang out with certain people that society may deem unacceptable, or your parents may give a gawk at, or a scoff, or whatever. But this person sits true in their own emotions and is very comfortable in their own skin. Now, with this card in reverse, it means that we're melodramatic, that we're annoyingly flamboyant and outlandish, and maybe we are erratic and overly emotional, where we are saying mean, crude things to other people, and we come off as passive aggressive or snide remarks, right? So this is the card we have the most control over today, and that is literally how we respond and how we present ourselves to other people emotionally. So are we quick to anger? Are we quick to snap back? Are we quick to get jealous, or to feud, or to have what they call cat fights, or little bitchy fights over nothing, over Twitter or TikTok, or I don't know, whatever social media you use? So just be aware of this. Be aware of your emotional feelings today. Be aware that they may be a little erratic. They may be out of balance and not equalized, and therefore you may be overly emotional. You may be overly dramatic today, and this is under your control. So if you don't like how you are responding to other people, take a step back and maybe listen more and be more intuitive, instead of just speaking whatever comes to your mind at first. Now, the card that we have the least control over is the Eight of Cups. So here we see this hooded person, no, not a hooded person, just a person with long hair, looking at this vista, at this long, arduous path on this peak, right? And he has 8 cups. And so what this represents is this person basically gets a feeling. They get this type of shocking feeling that says there's something more out there, and what you have is not going to fulfill you. And so if you want to search for that elusive thing that you're looking for, then you need to leave this behind. And so the person does. With their knowledge, with their experience, they leave behind everything that they have built, everything they have worked for, everything that they care for, and they go on this journey searching for this elusive other two cups. But now they have to collect all 10 again. But they're willing to do this because they have some type of information where they can never go back to the 8, because it never feels the same. It never looks the same. It doesn't bring the same type of care and love and attention that it used to have. And so they can't live that lie, and so they have to leave. This is literally the story of Buddha, where he's a rich prince, and he has a wife and he has a family, and the second he starts recognizing that there's death and that there's sorrow and loss and old age and all of these things, he has to go leave and search for truth. And even though he has all of these things that emotionally fulfill him, he has a wife, he has a kid, he's rich, he's got a palace, he's got a kingdom, he has all of these things, right? And yet he leaves them all, regardless of how they fulfill him, because he's searching for something more than something that those 8 could not provide for him, which was the truth. And so he sets off on a journey to discover himself. And that's what the 8 of Cups represents, okay? Now, this is what we have the least control over. So maybe somebody is doing that today in our periphery, because we have no control over it. Or it's literally us, and we get some type of feeling where we're like, I can't do this job anymore, or I can't do this project, or I can't do this school, or I just can't be in this relationship anymore. Like, I finally realized that we were just using each other because we were lonely, or because we were bored, or because I was codependent and I didn't know how to step out on my own 2 feet, and I was afraid to go have dinner by myself. And now with COVID and we're not going out to eat and we're just staying at home all the time, I realized this is not what I want, and I've been lying to myself this entire time. So therefore I've been lying to you. I'm so sorry. And then you go, and you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're looking for. You just know that what you had was not it, and therefore you move on. Now that's the card you have the least control over. Like, this is just happening. So whether this is somebody doing this to you, or within your periphery, or you're that person doing it, regardless of how it feels, recognize everybody's on their own path. Recognize everybody's on their own journey, and everybody's searching for contentment. They're searching for fulfillment. They're searching for connection. And if they don't feel that where they are, then it's their right to move on. And we need to let that go, because why would you want someone to stay if they're not happy anyways? If they're not fulfilled, that means you're not fulfilled, and you're not fulfilling them, or vice versa. So therefore, let this person go, or let this job go, or let this thing go, whatever it is that you are emotionally attached to, and recognize, regardless of the pain and the hurt, that there is something else out there that is actually more fulfilling and more real and more authentic to who you are as a person. Okay? So just be aware of this energy today. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to control it. We just need to let it do its own thing, wherever this energy is within us or around us. Okay? Now, going back to the thing that we needed to put our own focus on, and if we put right action, okay, that means basically if we're not an asshole to people, right? If we are not emotionally abusive or overzealous or jealous, or start throwing horrible slander, as long as you don't slander another person's worth, value, who they are, what they've worked for, so on and so forth, then what happens is death. Okay? And this is actually a good card. Now, it may hurt right now at the beginning because you are your old self is dying. It's like you're moting. You are shedding your own old skin, and you are regenerating into a new entity, a new person. And there's destruction, and there's pain, and there's sorrow, and you have to let it happen naturally, because it's good, because you're actually leveling up. You're moving to a new stage of life that is actually more beneficial and more authentic to you, because whatever that was in the past wasn't working for you. Okay, so let's look at this. Because something is happening where somebody is leaving because they are not fulfilled, whether it be you or someone else, in whatever entity we're talking about. Because someone is leaving today, that they cared about this thing and they no longer care about it, then you have the possibility to daydream. But you need to make sure that you daydream the right thing. Because if you're just thinking with your logic, or maybe with your body, then you're going again to create more problems in the future. So you need to listen to your heart, and you need to make the right decision and right choices. So what is going to fulfill you? Make the correct choices. And then, as long as we are in control of our own emotions, and we do not get crass or mean or slanderous or overly emotional or jealous or vengeful or any of these things, then we would have the opportunity to go through a transformational death, a spiritual death. And then we can regrow into who we actually are, who more so than whoever that person was, because that person is just now dead. All right. And you are like a phoenix being rebirthed. You have a new opportunity now. Take that opportunity. Yes, it's scary because you don't know what to do. You don't know where to go. But you have experience. You have knowledge. You have love for yourself. You have friends and family that care about you. Just recognize this is an opportunity, a beautiful once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Take this opportunity. Choose correctly. Listen to your heart. Let this happen, because it's not fulfilling for whoever, so it's not fulfilling you. Don't be a jackass, okay? And then boom, you're going to transform into a new, more authentic version of yourself. That is a beautiful day, and I hope this reading resonates with you. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment and tell me how this message affected your day. Check out Lost Connection Tarot on Facebook. Join the community. Check out my Instagram feed. If you would like a private reading with me, I have my calendar up in my YouTube description page, on my Instagram feed, in my Facebook page. Hit me up. We can do a personal reading. I offer 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then specific readings for specific questions, whether it be relationship, clarity, leveling up to the new path, things that are in my way, obstacles, how do I clear them out, so on and so forth. So take a gander, hit like and subscribe. And before we go, let's go ahead and do the numbers. So we have 7 and we have 8. 7 and 8 is 15. Then we have death, which is the 13th card of the major arcana. So 15 plus 13 is 28. 15 and 13 is 28. Yes. And then all court cards are 1. So 2 and 8 plus 1 is 29. 2 and 9 is 11. And 11 is the master number of service, of altruism, of giving of yourself, of being selfless. So by letting this person go, you are being selfless. You're not trying to control them. If you're letting the job go, it can go to someone else who actually wants it. By being of service to others and controlling your emotions, not only are you going through a transformation, but you're letting other people, other entities go and find out what actually fulfills them. Okay, so again, just choose correctly. Make sure you're listening to your heart. But again, master number is 11, and it's all about selflessness, being a service to others, and just giving of yourself. So make sure you do that today, and make sure you don't give negative emotions. Try to be supportive in whatever happens. So my name is Benjamin Snavely. This is Lost Connection Tarot. Have a great day. I hope to see you again. Bye.